Hey everyone, welcome back to the testing. So today we are working on a very interesting SQL problem. That's the 17th query of our coffee shop case study, and is saying identify the number of shifts a staff member has worked since the beginning of the year. The below will be the output of the query. First we will show staff ID and its total shift worked. We are gonna use rota table for this query. We will use staff ID, shift ID, and date columns from this table for our query. Before we start writing the query, please make sure to subscribe the channel and hit the like button. It's a small click for you, but it means a lot to us. I will explain everything as we write the query, so please listen carefully. So first we will select staff ID and date on which they worked. Now what we are going to do is to use a row number window function to give each shift a unique sequential number starting from 1 for each staff member. So first we will write a row number function and then over clause. In over clause we will write a partition by staff ID. This ensures that each row number adds up by each time when staff ID comes in staff ID column. And now we'll order it by order data to ensure shift ranks chronologically for each staff member, and we'll finally name it as a row number. We are selecting all this info from rota table, so here we'll write from rota table from rota. Now we want those shifts that were recorded since the beginning of the year. For this we will use where clause and we will say that extract those shifts that were recorded since the first day of the current year. So where date is greater than equal to the first day of the current year, which is 2024 0101. So this will ensure to extract only those shifts that were recorded since the beginning of the year. After running this part of the query, we get staff ID, the date they worked on, and the row number for each shift of each staff member. Now we will use this data as a temporary table for our query. We will wrap up this code in a CTE. CTE is a temporary table, right? And we'll name it as order shifts. Now from this city we will select a staff ID and its maximum row number. The maximum row number will be their total shifts, right? Because every row number will sum up when a new shift comes up for each employee. The syntax of a city is first you have to use with clause, then name, then s keyword, and wrap the code in two braces. Now we will select those staff IDs and their maximum row number. Maximum row number will be their total shift worked, right? So let's select the records from the CTE. First we'll select staff ID, and then we will use max function. This will select maximum row for each staff member, and it will be total shift worked. So max, and we will pass row number inside max. So this will select the total shift worked. We will give a name as total shift worked as mentioned below in the output. Now from order shifts, because we are selecting it from a temporary table, we will group it by staff ID, so we will only get the results for each staff member. Also, if you are using aggregate function, you have to use group by clause. Finally, we will order it by total shift worked in ascending order, so we will get the result in ascending order. Let's run the query to validate the output. Now you can see it shows each staff ID and each total shift worked as mentioned in the query output. Now we will also work on the second solution of this query. It's very simple. You have to change some parts of the below code. right? Now instead of max, we will use count function. Let's look at the rotor table. Here, for each staff member, we'll use a count function to count shifts, right? And instead of shift id, we will use star inside count function. Star ensures we count even null shifts for each customer. Now in from clause, we will use rota instead of order shifts. Everything else will be same. So let's run the query, and the output shows the exact as the previous query and the output I have shown you earlier. Please subscribe the channel. See you in the next video.